Toyota Tacoma YouTube life from the wife's perspective. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. A little bit of a different video today. You see, from time to time, I get questions. What's it like being a full-time YouTuber? What is YouTuber life like? Now, these I mostly get in the form of emails, direct messages, things like that. But I get enough of them that I thought, you know, it'd be kind of interesting to get on and answer some things, or at least give a perspective about what it's like to be a Toyota Tacoma full-time YouTuber. But I'm not going to tell you myself. Instead, I'm going to ask some questions of the wife. Let me go ahead and redirect you guys. Sitting right beside me over there. This is Krista, by the way, for those of you who don't know. She is the YouTube channel wife, if you will. Right?
Sure.
So I wanted to just kind of answer a few of the questions that I get and throw in some of my own, you know, anticipating what people might think. So first of all, am I a full-time YouTuber? Is this all that I do? Do I not have some high-paying job in the background that nobody knows about?
This is all you do. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Well, now that she mentions that, let's talk about the schedule. Because if you want to be a full-time YouTuber and you think that you can just make a video once a week and make tons of money, is that the way it is?
No.
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 That's true. She's very short on words. See, she hasn't learned that the YouTuber life has to be stretched out, right?
It's stretched out. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
But a lot of that is answering comments and things. I mean,
sure, it's comments, it's social media, it's messages, it's emails, it's videos, it's editing, it's uploading, it's always.
And don't forget about publicity.
And, well, right.
You see, because if nobody knows you exist, the question is, do you exist?
Right.
And the answer is no. It's like that tree falling in the forest. Does it make any noise? Well, only if people know it fell, right? So it kind of runs along those lines. Now, let's talk a little bit about subject material, because subject material involves some expenditures and accumulation of things for me. In this case, vehicles. I mean, I have 3 different vehicles. What do you think of this?
It's not fair.
It's not fair. I see.
I understand you need it for your YouTube life because you have 3 YouTube channels, so you got to do something to keep them going. But you know,
You get jealous.
I get jealous. I really do. I have 1 vehicle. That's it.
And it's been on the channels, on the Jeep channel, which, by the way, speaking of publicity,
Which my vehicle rules. My Wrangler rules. Just wanted to put that in there.
Speaking of publicity, let's go ahead and interject a little right now. I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive MT, which is all about
The Hyundai Santa Cruz mini truck.
Yeah, it's the mini truck channel, but right now it's the Hyundai Santa Cruz because it's the mini truck I have.
Yes.
And then I have RobMotive JT, and that's all about
The Jeep Gladiator.
with a little bit of
My awesome Wrangler.
that nasty, uncomfortable, bouncy, tight
Oh, what?
Jeep Wrangler.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, right.
My Wrangler
Now,
is awesome.
Let's talk about time off and vacations.
They don't exist.
They don't exist. And why is that?
Because of you.
Because of me. Well, it's because you have to spend a lot of time to keep the channels going. You know, it's like figure like a TV show. You know, you get into a TV show, there's a couple episodes out, you know it's going to be on, so you watch them. But then all of a sudden the TV show disappears. There's just reruns for a couple of weeks or whatever. Are you more inclined to watch the reruns? Are you going to come back and watch it again? Or are you potentially going to lose your audience? I would say losing the audience is probably highly likely if you don't keep things going. You must keep things going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard to fit vacations and time off in, at least at this point. I mean, if I was making millions of dollars a year, then, you know, maybe you could afford to take time off, but you still would risk losing your audience, which obviously is something that you wouldn't want to do. Now, the big question is, do I like doing it? Do you think I like doing this? I mean, do I enjoy it?
I believe you do.
You believe so?
That's why you do it full time.
Someone called me a preacher recently. They said I should be a preacher. And they said that I should preach.
You can stand on a soapbox and talk all day long.
So
He's gifted.
It is a requirement to be able to talk about something over and over again, even though the material is different, but still the same kind of theme, and have something to say.
He's perfect for this.
I think that's important. You must have something to say, because otherwise it's boring. And I think you have to have a little bit of excitement in it, and I don't think you can get that if you're doing something that you don't love doing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how could I get on here and talk about this truck all the time if I didn't like the truck?
Right.
Well, I wouldn't. I would go with something else. I don't know, maybe a Toyota Prius or something. I don't know. So you have to like what you're doing. Let's talk about financially for a minute. You need to be in a place, if you're going to do this full time, that you don't owe a ton of money to anybody else, because it's like a sales job. You know, it really is, except you're selling yourself and your content. Income is like this. You know, hopefully you get some sponsorships and things. I have a couple. But income can go like this. It all depends on what the market, in my case, the YouTube market, is doing, and whether or not what you put out is interesting. I mean, hopefully somebody will find this interesting, because, you know, Krista here has just been an overwhelming wealth of information here. It's hard to get her to be quiet. I mean, I realize she may be the kind of person that's really not cut out for YouTube.
No.
I'm just saying. So have you ever considered doing it yourself?
Absolutely not.
I mean, you have the perfect teacher.
No.
I mean, I could spend hours telling you how to make videos about
I'm sure you could.
Cooking or sewing.
You could spend years, every day, telling me, yes. No, I'm not cut from the same cloth.
Now, there is one huge benefit to being a full-time Toyota Tacoma YouTuber, as well as the other channels. And that is my office. Well, it's basically wherever I want it to be, but my office is at home, which means, of course, that Krista gets to enjoy my company all the time. I never leave, unless I go out, you know, I'm going for a ride, or I'm going to the car dealer or something like that. But generally, I'm around the house. So, you know, she must love me being around. You can tell by her overwhelming exuberance that she loves having me around the house full-time, 24/7. Am I right?
I do, honey. But as it is, I hardly see you anyway.
Well, I am usually sequestered somewhere,
Yes.
making videos or editing and doing those
Yes.
kind of things. So, you know. Now, I want to go back real quick to the fleet of vehicles. You know, I've had a lot of vehicles on the channel, and that's always been a big joke in the family. You know, what vehicle does Rob have now? How many vehicles has Rob had? Well, you see, when you do something like this, you do have to have different vehicles and change things out. I mean, you're not going to have the same vehicle forever when the latest and greatest is out and people are interested in that. So you have to maintain that audience by continually upgrading the fleet.
Correct.
That's what I tell her. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here and kind of give a little bit of YouTube Tacoma life from the perspective of someone else. In this case, my very talkative and boisterous wife, Krista. Thanks for being on, by the way. I really do appreciate that. You've added something to the channel today.
I'm sure.
Leave a comment. Let me know. Are you a full-time YouTuber out there, or have you been considering it? And what's holding you back? I'd be curious to know. Also, as mentioned, I do have 2 additional channels. The first one is
RobMotive.
JT, all about the Jeep Gladiator. And the second is
RobMotive MT.
all about mini trucks, currently the Hyundai Santa Cruz. And of course, RobMotive, but I assume you know where you're at, unlike her. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.
Bye.